May God, who has begun this good work in you, bring it to fulfillment.
We hear the saying, God, makes worthy those he calls. He doesn't call the worthy. And when I think about our journey into our vocation, whatever our vocation might be, I really think how often, at least in my own life, I deem myself unworthy to pursue a path that God had placed before me. And I know that there are many opportunities that I've missed because I judged myself not to be worthy, not to be a person of the proper status. Today's scriptural readings really break down that misconception that we have as human beings that we need to be predisposed to pursue things based upon the condition that we're in. And when I say that, I look back towards the first reading. When we think about how is Israel going to recover after the Babylonian exile, I don't think people would have picked the king of Persia, a non-Jew, to be a person that ushers back the Jewish people and sends with the Jewish people back to Jerusalem sacred vessels from the temple and money to rebuild the temple. Why would this foreigner, this outsider, someone who doesn't know the God of Israel, be the one to move all of this forward? Cyrus, the king of Persia, he was so influential in the Jewish people's life. And yet, his status would have been as an outsider, but not to God. And in the gospel, we hear that, stated as they're questioning Jesus. They're saying, Jesus, we know that you speak the truth. You're not concerned about opinions. You don't take into consideration a person's status. And then what they're talking about is that Jesus doesn't look upon our worldly status to determine what we're capable of, but rather Jesus looks at the way in which we are created. He knows the truth. He knows the truth of our vocation, and he is willing, he is desiring greatly to walk with us on our own journey in order to support us, to make sure that we will succeed. How often we talk ourselves out of being able to even begin the journey towards what God is calling us to do because we judge ourselves based upon worldly opinion. We judge ourselves based upon worldly status. This is not the way of God. If you really want to know what your vocation is in life, don't look to the outside world, but rather spend time in prayer, spend time in silence. Look to the depths of your heart, to what you desire. Look to what brings you the most amount of joy. And even if the world says that's not the path to go, discern well with others within the church, whether or not that's where God is calling you. And then, if God is calling you, trust. Trust that the maker of heaven and earth, the truth himself, the one who knows the truth of why you were created, will lead you along the right path. Your status in the world, it's not important to God. Your holiness is. Your following your vocational call is. And God knows what that is. God knows how to grace you with the gifts you need to be both holy and to be the fulfillment of your vocational call. In the words of St. John Paul II, be not afraid. Be not afraid, and don't let status and worldly opinion keep you from what your heart truly desires. What your heart desires is to know God and to love God and to serve God. Discern how you are called to do that best, and then trust that the Lord will walk with you every step of the journey. May God bless you.